Adrian N. Breitfelder, City Clerk, you are hereby directed to call a regular session of the City Council to be held on Monday, April 4th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. in the historic Federal Building for the purpose of conducting such business that may properly come before the City Council.
Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to a regular session of the Dubuque City Council for April 4th, 2022. As a reminder to our participants, you can provide in-person input or virtual audio and written input during the sections of the agenda where public input is accepted. Input options during the live meeting include: in-person attendees may approach the podium when the mayor asks if there is any public input on the item they would like to speak to. Remote attendees can log into GoToMeeting using the login links, phone numbers, and access code that appear on the broadcast and live stream and posted on the front page of the meeting agenda. This option includes audio input and written chat input. If you are participating via computer, indicate which item you would like to speak to in the chat function, or note that you would like to speak during the appropriate section. If you are participating via phone, indicate which item you would like to speak to when phone lines are unmuted. All phone lines will be unmuted during the consent agenda, public hearings, and public input periods, and city staff will determine the speaking order of the participants. All comments, whether in person or virtual, must be accompanied by a name and address. Additionally, written public input is accepted by contacting the City Council directly from the city's webpage at www.cityofdubuque.org/councilcontacts and through the City Clerk's office email at ctyclerk@cityofdubuque.org. This information will be reiterated during the meeting. Attendance for the session is as follows: Mayor Kavanaugh.
Here.
Council members Farber.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Resnick.
Here.
Roussel.
Here.
Sprank.
Here.
Wethel.
Here.
City Manager Van Milligan.
Here.
City Attorney Brumwell.
Here.
Thank you. I will begin by announcing the voting order for tonight's meeting as Farber, Kavanaugh, Sprank, Jones, Roussel, Wethel, Resnick. Mayor Kavanaugh, I will turn it over to you for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Adrian. I invite all who are able to please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have swearing in of Ward 4 Councilmember-elect Katie A. Wethel.
Please raise your right hand. I, Katie A. Wethel, do solemnly swear
I, Katie A. Wethel, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability,
and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office of City Council Representative as now or hereafter required by law.
that I will discharge all duties of the office of City Council Representative as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can take a minute for pictures too. Randy's right here for you.
How about for the flags? That's a great picture. Hey, Randy, how about in front of the flags? Never mind. I thought in front of the flags. You put them behind. Photoshop. Photoshop.
Welcome to the desk, Councilwoman Wethel. I'll give you one more round of applause. Okay, Adrian.
We'll move on to presentations. We have the COVID-19 update.
I think we have Mary Rose with us online. And I don't see that we have a feed out here in the chambers, Eric, if you can hear that. And so far, we're still hearing silence. It's not uncomfortable yet, but it's getting there.
Mary Rose, you should be able to make yourself presenter. There you go. And unmute your mic.
Mary Rose, we're still not hearing you.
She did tell me this afternoon her report was going to be brief. I didn't realize how brief.
This is really, really brief, yeah.
Mayor Kavanaugh, Mary Rose texted and she's going to try calling in, so please just.
Okay,
bear with
yeah,
us a minute.
we can wait. Thank you very much, Randy.
Okay, I'm dialed in.
Mary Rose, we hear you, but there's an echo. You might need to mute whatever else you have on there.
Sure, just a minute. Is that better?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay. Sorry about that. Little technology issue there.
Yeah, it'll never end, will it? That's okay.
Right. Well, welcome everybody, and special welcome to newly elected Councilwoman Katie Wethel. Glad to have you on board. So I'll give you a little bit of an update this week, just on the numbers and some other recommendations. As I get my controls back to the desk here. There we go. So we continue with a downward trend on the overall cases, and here's the history since the pandemic began. And you can still see our continued steep decline in the number of cases recently. And that is evidenced by our 7-day case count, which last Wednesday, it was 16 of the total cases of reportable cases. This does not include home cases. And I will say that that number is staying at 16 when I look at the 7-day case total as of today. Our hospitalizations continue to be low, and I think that we can expect a fluctuation between among 1 or 2, 3 cases per week as we move forward, and we would consider that really not a change, even though it's up a little bit from the previous week. Our community level remains at low, and this is based on our rate per 100,000 population, the number of new COVID admissions in the hospital, and how well the hospital is staffed for COVID and other related illnesses. We continue to offer vaccination clinics across the community by many of our pharmacies and retail outlets, healthcare providers, and the VNA, which does continue with their walk-in clinics. And just as an update, 64% of the county population, of the total population, is fully vaccinated, and 57% of those who are fully vaccinated have received 1 booster. So last week, the CDC recommended an additional vaccination booster for those 65 years of older and those 50 years and older with certain underlying medical conditions. Now, the list of medical conditions is quite lengthy, but basically, if you have a chronic underlying condition, you're probably eligible for the booster, and it has to be at least 4 months after the initial booster. And during the recent COVID surge, those who were boosted were 21 more times less likely to die from COVID-19 and 7 times less likely to be hospitalized. So it definitely decreases the severity of the disease. And just as a reminder, a person is fully vaccinated 2 weeks after receiving recommended doses in the primary series of their COVID vaccine, and a person is up to date if they've received at least 1 booster dose. So the CDC has not changed the definition of up to date as of yet. In other words, you don't necessarily have to have 2 booster vaccinations in order to be up to date yet. They haven't changed that definition yet. Now, the other thing that's really important to remind people is we have a variety of testing options available, including the at-home test kits, which are very helpful if you develop symptoms, and they continue to be used widely. And we want to remind people that we have to continue with prevention measures such as quarantine and isolation when we test positive or when you have a known exposure with a positive COVID case. So the other thing that's important to remember of why it's important to test and test early in your symptoms is that we have antiviral medications available for those who test positive and who meet criteria for potentially getting more ill with COVID. So if you test early on, it's recommended that you take these pills. It's an oral antiviral or a pill form within 5 days of getting sick. So that's a good reason to test if you have any type of cold symptoms, etc. So that's the one thing I would really like to keep stressing to the public is testing is still very important because it could get you treatment when needed. And just looking ahead a little bit, we need to be prepared for our new normal or another new surge. We've really got to do both. And that's a quote from my friend and colleague, Dr. Michael Osterholm, and who I look to for guidance quite frequently. And I would just like to pose the question of how often the council would like to continue to get these monthly updates. I'm happy to continue doing it, but if you're tired of hearing from me, I understand.
All right, are you ready for questions there, Mary Rose?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we're never ever tired of hearing from you. I'll just throw that out there right away. But we'll go ahead and do questions or discussion for Mary Rose here. And then, just as a part of that, I think we should work to try to answer her question tonight too, of how often we want these reports from her now. Yeah, Mr. Sprank.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mary Rose, this is Danny Sprank. Question: can you give a little clarification on how the J&J folks that got the J&J vaccine? Because there was something I got in an email from Hardick Drug, which it didn't quite make sense. Like, when are you supposed to get a second booster shot?
I'd have to look up the exact guidance. It's becoming quite complicated as we go through, but I can maybe do that and get back to you, Danny.
Okay, all right, that'd be fine. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, Ms. Wethel.
Mr. Mayor, Mary Rose, Katie Wethel. First of all, I would like to continue to thank you. As someone who has worked through the pandemic, I'm grateful for your information, certainly, but also your leadership. One thought I have in making a decision for future reports, the first is that although no question our case counts are low, as reflected by hospitalization, which will lead us significantly in what our true transmission rates are locally, with home testing so available, thank goodness it is to our community, those home tests are not reported. And so we need to remember that until hospitalizations go up, we truly will not know what transmission rates are in our community according to, I guess, as a clinician, what I experience. So no doubt, we are in a good place currently, but I would be in favor of continuing at least a monthly report at this time. And certainly the course may change month to month and how we feel about that, but I think there's good reason to continue your guidance, Mary Rose.
Thank you, Ms. Wethel.
I couldn't agree more with you, Katie. I was remiss in my update in really saying that the case counts that we're giving these days are really just an indicator. They're definitely not an absolute. So I agree with the number of cases is very underreported.
Okay. Other thoughts?
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, Ms. Farber.
I support the once a month. I think Katie nailed it in terms of what we don't see. And I do serve on a hospital board, and we sit on a regular basis. When we meet, we share that same sentiment. There may be 1 to 2 hospitalizations at this time in the local hospitals, but we agree that there is more totally unreported, and that we just still have to be cautious.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farber. Ms. Wethel?
I'm sorry, one other question, Mary Rose, Katie Wethel. As far as a plan to bolster our community booster rates for this 3rd or 4th vaccine versus our 2nd booster, however you would like to name it, will there be community outreach? Will there be a plan to ensure that folks get this 2nd booster? Is there anything going on in the works for that transmission of message?
Thank you. This is Mary Rose Corrigan again, and our incident management team began discussing that very thing today. According to vaccine providers who I met with this afternoon, they're not seeing a big demand for the booster as of yet, although they did say numbers did increase last Thursday and Friday, so that's a good sign. So I think you'll be seeing some things in the next couple weeks. We want to try new and different ways of reaching the public. The requests on our vaccine hotline or on the phone hotline are significantly down. So we'll probably look at ways of reaching people via social media and those kinds of avenues, because I think if we look at our rates of vaccination among various age groups, you'll see that probably the age groups that rely on social media are probably have some of the lower vaccination rates. So that will be one tool we'll be using. We're just kind of regrouping on that as of today. So you'll hear more, but I think it is important to continue to promote vaccinations, as you said.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, Mr. Resnick.
Yes, briefly. So I support the monthly report still, but perhaps we might do a little bit of morphing from the damage reports that we have right now to perhaps an advanced warning system and letting us know what's up there and what we can do to maybe prepare for something that may be coming. It's we see all these different variations out there. So that's what I would appreciate. I know that you're always looking out for the community, and so I would appreciate that advanced warning system as part of it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Resnick, and that's something we do take seriously because I know the weekly updates on the 7-day counts come out weekly, but we're looking at that every day. And we're also looking to see if any increases are maintained either daily or from week to week, because we know the CDC levels, the community level, like right now it's low, but even to change those, they do lag a little bit in the promptness of their changing. So yeah, we plan on keeping a close eye on it.
Mr. Jones.
Just going to say, I certainly see the value in continuing with monthly reports and updates. It's not over, and it's pretty easy to get complacent and think that it is and act like it is. And it's very healthy for me to be reminded every month of where we actually are.
Yeah. All right. So I think I'm hearing general concurrence, Mary Rose. We would like monthly updates at this point. And if that still works for you, it sounds like there's a couple things we might begin to focus on. You know, Mr. Resnick, I think, makes some good points. So maybe we could do that to try and, keep looking ahead. But yeah, for the time being, let's keep on doing it, I think.
Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to do it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for this report. I don't see any other questions at the table, so we appreciate you being here today with us.
Thank you.
All right. Adrian.
We'll move on to proclamations. Our first proclamation is Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
All right. We have a number of great proclamations tonight, so get ready for my reading voice. We're going to hear some good stuff. So I believe we have people here to accept every single one of these proclamations. So Sarah McKenzie, if you wouldn't mind coming up, please. And I'll give everybody a chance to say a few words before the proclamation if you would like, and then I'll read through the proclamation. You can come on up and accept it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah McKenzie. This is Elisa Campanato. We're advocates with the Riverview Center. We serve 14 counties here in Iowa with sexual assault services for survivors, and then sexual assault and domestic violence services in 2 counties in Illinois. So we appreciate you allowing us to be here today to proclaim April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and help us fight sexual violence in Iowa. So, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here to accept this proclamation. We appreciate it. City of Dubuque proclamation. Whereas sexual assault affects women, children, and men of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds. And whereas, in addition to the immediate physical and emotional costs, sexual assault may also have associated consequences of post-traumatic stress disorder, substance abuse, depression, homelessness, eating disorders, and suicide. And whereas sexual assault can be devastating not only to the survivor, but also for the family, friends, and community of the survivor. And whereas, since no one person, organization, agency, or community can eliminate sexual assault on their own, we must work together to educate our entire population about what can be done to prevent sexual assault, support survivors and their significant others, and support those agencies providing services to survivors. Now, therefore, I, Brad M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the City of Dubuque, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and the citizens of Dubuque, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in the City of Dubuque, Iowa, and encourage all citizens to learn more about preventing sexual violence. Okay. Do you want to go ahead and, you can announce the next one, Adrian. That's fine. Thank you.
Our next proclamation is Week of the Young Child.
All right. I believe we have Abby Degenhardt here to accept this proclamation tonight.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, thank you very much for allowing the opportunity for us to receive a proclamation. Week of the Young Child is an annual celebration sponsored by the National Association of the Education of the Young Child. Today, we know more than ever before about the importance of children's earliest years in shaping their learning and development, yet never before have the needs of young children and their families been more pressing. The Week of the Young Child is a time to recognize that children's opportunities are our responsibilities and to recommit ourselves to ensuring that each and every child experiences the type of early environment at home, at childcare, at school, and in the community that will promote early learning. So thank you.
Thank you, Abby, for being here to accept this proclamation tonight. City of Dubuque proclamation. Whereas Dubuque County Early Childhood, in conjunction with the National Association for the Education of Young Children, are celebrating the Week of the Young Child, April 2nd through April 8th, 2022. And whereas by calling attention to the need for high-quality early learning experiences for all children and families within our state, these groups hope to improve the quality and availability of such services. And whereas the future of our state depends on the quality of the early childhood experiences provided to young children today, preparing them for school success and brighter outcomes. And whereas high-quality early childhood services represent a worthy commitment to our children's future. Now, therefore, I, Brad M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the City of Dubuque, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and the citizens of Dubuque, do hereby proclaim the week of April 2nd through the 8th, 2022, as the Week of the Young Child in the City of Dubuque, Iowa, and urge all citizens to recognize and support the needs of young children in our community in order to build a brighter future for Iowa by giving every child an opportunity to succeed in life. Thank you very much for being here.
Our next proclamation is National Public Health Week.
I believe we have Tim Link here.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tim Link, Environmental, Sanitary, and Health Services Department. Tonight, I'm representing not only the Health Services Department, but all of our community public health agencies for their continued support, especially those that have been with us throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. We would like to thank each council member for your continued support of the Health Services Department and the field of public health. A very heartfelt thank you.
Well, and thank you, Tim, for being here and for being watchful over everything that we need you to be watchful over here in Dubuque. City of Dubuque proclamation. Whereas since 1995, the American Public Health Association, through its sponsorship of National Public Health Week, has educated the public, policymakers, and public health professionals about issues important to improving the public's health. And whereas U.S. life expectancy dropped from 2014 to 2017 in the longest sustained decline since the Great Recession, and only in 2018 began to increase again. U.S. life expectancy then dropped again in 2020 for a full year, which is the largest drop in life expectancy since 1943. And whereas a person's health status can differ drastically by zip code due to differences in the built environment, environmental quality, community context, access to healthy food, access to education, and access to health care. And whereas public health professionals help communities prevent, prepare for, withstand, and recover from the impact of a full range of health threats, including disease outbreaks such as the COVID-19 pandemic, measles, natural disasters, and disasters caused by human activity. And whereas public health action, together with scientific and technological advances, has played a major role in reducing and in some cases eliminating the spread of infectious disease and in establishing today's disease surveillance and control systems. And whereas preventable risk factors such as physical inactivity, poor nutrition, tobacco use, and excessive alcohol use and obesity are leading causes of chronic disease in Dubuque. And 6 in 10 U.S. adults have a chronic disease and 4 in 10 have 2 or more. And chronic diseases cause 7 of every 10 deaths annually in the United States. And whereas the COVID-19 pandemic has illuminated and exacerbated racial inequalities, and a growing number of local, state governments, and public health leaders have declared racism a public health crisis. Now, therefore, I, Brad M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the City of Dubuque, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and the citizens of Dubuque, do hereby proclaim the week of April 4th through 10th, 2022 as National Public Health Week in the City of Dubuque, Iowa, and call upon the people of Dubuque to observe this week by helping our families, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and leaders to better understand the value of public health and supporting great opportunities to adopt preventative lifestyle habits in light of this year's theme, Public Health is Where You Are.
Our next proclamation is Junior Achievement Day.
All right, Mr. Scott Ellerbeck is here with us today.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for all you do. So Junior Achievement, we've been around for over 100 years. We're teaching kids about managing businesses, getting prepared for their future by way of career and work readiness, and also financial literacy. So as I get out around Dubuque and the tri-states and talk to businesses and all their needs, it's amazing what I come back with. People are looking for workforce that's prepared. People look for the soft skills. People are looking for good and productive citizens that want to give back, want to go to work, and provide for their families. So that's what we teach kids. You know, we want to help them prepare for their future, to compete in a global economy post-graduation, and just to be good people. So we've been doing this for a long time. We have tons of volunteers throughout the tri-state area that help us provide all of our programs at no cost to students and teachers. Educators continue to find the value in what we do as our program numbers grow to pre-COVID over 4,200 students throughout the tri-state area. So each year it's a joy to get into classrooms and continue to help inspire these youth and turn that I cannot attitude into an I can attitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for all you do and for being here tonight to accept this proclamation. City of Dubuque proclamation. Whereas the City of Dubuque will observe Junior Achievement Day on April 7th, 2022 as an opportunity to recognize and celebrate junior achievement of the Heartland for empowering our young people to own their economic success. And whereas Junior Achievement of the Heartland's educational contribution equips our young people to become the next generation of productive employees and self-sufficient citizens to ensure the economic prosperity of Dubuque. And whereas it is fitting for parents, educators, businesses, and other members of the community to join in Junior Achievement's effort to ensure the future success and economic health of our young people and the communities in which they live. Now, therefore, I, Brad M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the City of Dubuque, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and citizens of Dubuque, do hereby proclaim official recognition of April 7th, 2022 as Junior Achievement Day in the City of Dubuque, Iowa. Thanks for being
here. Our next proclamation is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
All right. Abby Ryan, I believe, is here with us. Hi, Abby.
Hello, my name is Abby Ryan. I'm a lead dispatcher with the department. And on behalf of our entire department, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support of everything we do. Especially in the past year, it's been a struggle, and our department has really came together to serve the citizens of Dubuque. So again, I just want to say we appreciate you recognizing us this week, and it really means a lot to us.
Well, thank you for all you do, and thank you for taking the time to be here with us tonight. City of Dubuque proclamation. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Dubuque Emergency Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Dubuque Emergency Communications Center have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now therefore, I, Brad M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the City of Dubuque, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and the citizens of Dubuque, do hereby proclaim the week of April 10th through 16th, 2022, as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the City of Dubuque, Iowa, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe.
Our next proclamation is Community Development Week.
Okay, Armina Odabasic, I believe, is with us.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I'm Maddie Haberland, Community Development Specialist, and I have Carla Escobar, our Housing Financial Specialist, with us here. Armina was not able to join us tonight, so you get to hear from me. Thank you for acknowledging Community Development Week. Armina was one of 3 first-time home buyers who closed on their loans last week. 2 of the homes that were purchased were funded with CDBG money in the rehab in their city-owned properties, and the other one was through Habitat for Humanity. We had 2 female head of household first-time homeowners, as well as 1 young professional who has an entry-level position and chose to stay in Dubuque and purchase his first home here. So it was a great week for us. It's especially important for us this year to celebrate National Community Development Week because the fiscal year 22 omnibus spending bill on the federal level cut entitlement funds for CDBG by 4.5%. So we really want to highlight and showcase the great things we're doing in this community with our CDBG funds. Thank you.
Thank you for that information and for being here to accept this proclamation. City of Dubuque proclamation. Whereas the week of April 11th through 15th, 2022 has been designated as National Community Development Week to celebrate the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program. And whereas the CDBG program provides annual funding and flexibility to local communities to provide decent, safe, and affordable housing, a suitable living environment, and economic opportunities to low and moderate income residents. And whereas over the past 3 years, our community has received a total of $4,248,626 in CDBG and CDBG CV funds. And whereas the following activities have been funded. First-time homebuyer program, homeowner rehabilitation program, rental unit rehabilitation, lead and healthy homes match funding, short-term rental, mortgage, and utility assistance, micro-enterprise assistance program, infrastructure improvements, neighborhood recreation programs, nonprofit support grants, homeless shelter rehabilitation, zoning enforcement, vacant building enforcement, and activities to prevent, prepare for, and respond to COVID-19. Now, therefore, I, Brad M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the City of Dubuque, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and the citizens of Dubuque, do hereby proclaim the week of April 11th through the 15th, 2022, as Community Development Week in the City of Dubuque, Iowa.
Our final proclamation is Arbor Day.
All right, and I believe Councilmember Roussel is running away for some reason. I wonder what that could be. We have Mr. Hobie Wood here with us today.
She's going to be here to keep me honest.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. I'm Hobie Wood, Vice President of Dubuque Trees Forever. I have President Roussel with me. I have Tom Kramer, Steve Pregler, our treasurer, Cheryl Sheldon, and Barb Liska. Also, I brought the whole crew. Dubuque Trees Forever started in 2017. Since we began, we've had over 1,200 service hours working in the community. I also want to give special thanks to Mayor Kavanaugh and Councilmember Sprank and Mr. City Manager Van Milligan for your assistance during planning. Certainly appreciated. In 2021, we planted 152 trees using over 300 volunteers. In addition to planting, we educate and advocate for trees at places like Summer and Winter's Farmer Market and the Sustainability Fair. We care for trees through mulching in areas like the B Branch and along Chavano Road. And our next opportunity to get involved is our upcoming Jackson Street planting, April 16th. October's too far away. Volunteers are needed. Please sign up at DubuqueTreesForever.org. I'd like to offer a special thank you for city employees Tom and Barb, and plus our fifth beetle, Gary. We couldn't do it without him. Just immeasurable support that we get from the city does not go unnoticed, and it's very much appreciated. Anything?
Well, thank you for keeping our city beautiful and for being here to accept this proclamation tonight, everyone.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
City of Dubuque proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore I, Brad M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the City of Dubuque, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and the citizens of Dubuque, do hereby proclaim the 29th day of April 2022 as Arbor Day in the City of Dubuque, Iowa. Further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Thank you. Okay, Adrian.
We'll move on to consent items. At this time, anyone participating in the meeting in person who would like to discuss one of the consent items, please approach the podium when the mayor asks if there is any in-person input and state your name and address. For all remote attendees, please enter your name and address in the chat function or state your name and address over the phone when the mayor asks if there is any virtual input. If more than one participant would like to speak, then city staff will determine the speaking order of the participants. Please state the item you would like removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and consideration. And consent items can be found on pages 2 through 5 of the agenda.
Okay, do we have anyone from the public who would like to hold any consent items for separate discussion? Anyone virtually?
No virtual comments.
And no emails received.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Bring that table. Yes, Mr. Resnick.
I move to receive and file the documents, adopt the resolutions, and deal with the consent items as recommended.
Second by Roussel.
We have a motion by Mr. Resnick, a second by Ms. Roussel. Adrian, would you call the roll, please?
Farber.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Sprank. Jones. Roussel.
Aye.
Wethel.
Aye.
Resnick.
Aye.
That motion passes 7-0.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if I could just make a quick comment. This wasn't worth pulling it, but item 20 refers to a new brochure that explains how to do public input to anybody that's never done it before, to anybody who's afraid to do it. And it's just a neat piece, and I want people to know about it. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I believe it's at the back of the chambers as well, and can also be found online, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you, Adrian.
We will move on to items set for public hearing, and we have 9. First is resolution setting a public hearing on a proposed development agreement by and among the City of Dubuque, Iowa, Sure Real Estate LLC, and Dubuque Screw Products, Inc. for the issuance of urban renewal tax increment revenue grant obligations pursuant to the development agreement for April 18th, 2022. Second is set public hearing for Radford Road amended urban revitalization area plan for April 18th, 2022. Third is 2022 pavement marking project for April 18th, 2022. Fourth is Mystique Community Ice Center settlement remediation project, initiate public improvement bidding process for April 18th, 2022. Fifth is Mystique Community Ice Center Rink Ice System Removal and Replacement Project. Initiate public improvement bidding process for April 18th, 2022. Sixth is Northwest Arterial State of Good Repair Project, US Highway 20 to John F. Kennedy Road for April 18th, 2022. Seventh is proceedings to set public hearing on the issuance of not to exceed $10,165,000 general obligation bonds, Series 2022 AB for April 18th, 2022. Eighth is resolution of necessity for the proposed amended and restated urban renewal plan for the Greater Downtown Urban Renewal District, version 2022.3 for May 2nd, 2022. And ninth is resolution of necessity for the amendment of the Dubuque Industrial Center Economic Development District Urban Renewal Plan, version 2022.1 for May 16th, 2022.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Russell.
I move to receive and file the documents, adopt the resolutions, and set the public hearings for the dates specified.
Second by Farber.
Motion by Roussel, second by Ms. Farber. Adrian, would you call the roll, please?
Farber.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Sprank.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Roussel.
Aye.
Wethel.
Aye.
Resnick.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
We will move on to boards and commissions. We have boards and commissions applicant review for the Housing Appeals Mediation Board, Housing Commission, and appointments for the Civil Service Commission.
All right, thank you, Adrian. So for the Housing Appeals and Mediation Board, we have one 3-year term through January 1st, 2024. And we have two applicants, Carol Schutte and Marichelle Glover. Is there anyone in the council chambers to address the council about either of these applications? Anyone virtually?
And no emails received.
Okay, thank you very much. For the Housing Commission, we have one 3-year term through August 17th, 2023, and we have one applicant, Yindra Dixon. Anyone in chambers or virtually to address the council on this application?
None virtually.
And no emails received.
Okay, thank you. And we can move on to the appointment for the Civil Service Commission. This is a mayoral appointment. We have one 4-year term through April 6, 2026. And it is applicant Phil Baskerville. I just want to point out, I did receive a note here asking from Mr. Baskerville himself, asking for reappointment. So just officially addressing the council with that. So I would ask for concurrence or any disagreement on this. Then I hereby appoint Phil Baskerville to the 4-year term through April 6, 2026 on the Civil Service Commission. Adrian.
We'll move on to public hearings. At this time, anyone participating in the meeting in person who would like to discuss one of the public hearing items, please plan to approach the podium when the mayor asks if there is any in-person input for the public hearing you would like to speak to. For all remote attendees, please enter your name and address in the chat function and state your question, or state your name and address over the phone when the mayor asks if there is any virtual input for the public hearing you would like to speak to. If more than one participant would like to speak, then city staff will determine the speaking order of the participants. And public hearing number 1 is 2022 Asphalt Overlay Ramp Project 2.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Resnick.
I move to receive and file and adopt the resolution.
Second by Sprank.
A motion by Mr. Resnick, a second by Mr. Sprank. Mike, please.
Thank you. City Manager Mike Van Milligan. City Engineer Gus Zahoyas is recommending City Council approve the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the 2022 Asphalt Overlay Ramp Project 2 through the adoption of a resolution. I concur with the recommendation and respectfully request Mayor and City Council approval.
Thank you, Mike. We are in a public hearing to consider approval of plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the 2022 Asphalt Overlay Ramp Project 2. We have anyone from the public to address us on this item? Anyone virtually?
No.
Okay.
No emails received.
All right, I'll bring it back to the table then for questions or discussion. All right, seeing none, we have a motion by Resnick, second by Sprank. Adrian, would you call the roll, please?
Farber.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Sprank.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Roussel.
Aye.
Wethel.
Aye.
Resnick.
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
Public hearing number 2 is Wilbrick Lane Detention Basin Project.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Russell.
I move to receive and file and adopt the resolution.
Second by Farber.
Motion by Roussel, second by Farber. Mike, please.
Thank you. City Manager Mike Van Milligan. City Engineer Gus Zahoyas is recommending City Council approval of the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Wilbrook Lane Detention Basin project through the adoption of a resolution. The proposed Wilbrook Lane Detention Basin project estimated a total cost of $527,223.50 will address the localized flooding that has occurred along Glendale Court. And while additional drainage improvements may be in order, the proposed improvements will reduce the flow of runoff to downstream facilities, alleviating the flooding issues on Marmora Avenue and behind the houses on McPolin Avenue. I concur with the recommendation and respectfully request Mayor and City Council approval.
Thank you, Mike. We are in a public hearing to consider approval of plan specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Wilbrook Lane Detention Basin project. Do we have anyone from the public to address us on this? Anyone virtually?
No virtual comments.
Okay.
No emails received.
All right, I'll bring it back to the table for questions or discussion. Mr. Sprang.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is for the city manager. I'm all for this. I guess, what funding stream is this coming out of, or how are we paying for this? So.
Gus or Bob, can you address the funding sources on this project? So Gus, in the memo, it says Stormwater Utility Construction Fund, so I'll assume that's stormwater fund balance and revenues from the utility.
This is Gus Zahoyas. It is the stormwater utility balances that we have.
Thank you, Ms. Roussel.
I would just like to say thank you on behalf of some of the residents on Glendale Court. I'd received input a while back from a family who had always experienced flooding when there was a big rain, and I know that this project will be a welcome change for them. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Roussel. All right, well, the motion is to receive and file and adopt the resolution. Adrian, would you call the roll, please?
Farber.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Sprank.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Roussel.
Aye.
Wethel.
Aye.
Resnick.
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
We will move on to public input. At this time, anyone participating in the meeting may address the City Council on the action items on the agenda or on matters under the control of the City Council. For all in-person attendees, please approach the podium and state your name and address. For all remote attendees, please enter your name and address in the chat function or state your name and address over the phone when the mayor asks if there is any virtual input. If more than one participant would like to speak, then city staff will determine the speaking order of the participants. Individual remarks are limited to 5 minutes, and the overall public input period is limited to 30 minutes. Under the Iowa Open Meetings Law, the City Council can take no formal action on comments given during public input or that do not relate to the action items on the agenda.
Thank you, Adrian. Do we have any public input this evening? Do we have any virtual input?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I would just like to acknowledge receipt of three types of written input. First is from Stephanie Kramer, 2721 Balboa Drive. Second is Eric Lucy of 2736 Tiffany Court. And third is Marvin Cocaine of 2297 Graham Circle. All of this input has been sent to the City Council.
Thank you, Adrian. Okay, and we can move along to action items.
Action item number 1 is request for proposal for Historic Millwork District Master Plan update.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Farber.
I move that we receive and file and approve the request.
Got a motion by Ms. Farber, a second by Mr. Jones. Mike, please.
Thank you. City Manager Mike Van Milligan. Economic Development Director Jill Connors is recommending City Council approval to release the recommended modified request for proposals for professional services for the Historic Millwork District Master Plan update, and that the city manager be authorized to negotiate and execute an agreement with the recommended consultant. I concur with the recommendation and respectfully request Mayor and City Council approval.
All right, thank you, Mike. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Farber.
So I wanted to give a shout out to Jill and her staff, and also to the business leaders in the Millwork District who took the time, the attendance, the enthusiasm and energy to collaborate on the new RFP, and I know it took a few weeks to get this all established, and just really cannot say enough about the collaborative effort. And I very much look forward to the results from the RFP that has now been updated, and also the progress as we can monitor it as we move forward on the development of the master plan for the millwork and for the downtown. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farber.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Resnick.
Yes, thank you. And I appreciate the comments made by Ms. Farber, and the process was very important, and I appreciate everyone who helped. I do have one question, and that would be, of all the red line changes or modifications, as you mentioned, to the RFP, I was hoping you might comment upon which ones do you consider the most substantive?
Good evening, Jill Connors, Economic Development Director. I've got them pulled up here, was just glancing through. A lot of what got included was some color and texture added to what we're trying to find in order to, I would say, give more life, breathe life into the RFP and make sure that we get some really good responses, that it's not kind of a run-of-the-mill, hey, we do this all the time and you're just one of our clients sort of response. Folks that would respond to this would understand that we work collaboratively here in Dubuque and that we mean business, that we're working hard to be a really good quality community, and we expect them to give a stellar performance.
Great, thank you. And did you find the collaboration worthwhile?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's going to help it happen next is equally important, which is there will be a selection panel that has both city staff on it as well as private sector partners, private sector and nonprofit. And then we'll, as a panel, go through the proposals and make sure that we come to a consensus as to what consulting firm will be the best for what we're trying to achieve.
Great, thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Resnick? Any questions or discussion? Well, Jill, you don't need to come back for this one, but I just want to thank you for, we kicked this back in your direction a few weeks ago when this first came up, and asked for more collaboration based on community input, and did a great job with it. So thank you very much for that. And thank you to everyone who was involved in this community collaboration. I think it was important, and I'm looking forward to more, because that's obviously what the RFP is all about, is collaborating with the community. So thank you. Well, the motion is to receive and file and approve. Adrian, would you call the roll, please?
Farber.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Sprank.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Roussel.
Aye.
Wethel.
Aye.
Resnick.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Action item number 2 is Police Department recruitment video.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Roussel.
I move to receive and file and watch the video.
Second.
Motion by Roussel, second by Jones. We are ready to roll the video. And just another quick note, oh, never mind.
To help people in their time of crisis. It's something that I've always had the passion for, and I always felt that there was more out there that I could do, and just to be that voice for people that don't have it. My name is Nicole Salazar, and I'm with the Dubuque Police Department. Somebody once told me, in this department, you're not just a number, you're a name. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a name. I wanted people to know who I am, and I wanted to build those relationships with the people here and be part of the community as well. When I got hired on, they always promoted that this department is family and community oriented, and I figured down the road I'll end up meeting somebody, settling down and starting a family of my own. Well, I have, and my time has come where here I am expecting to have a child. One of the things that our department does is they allow us to, when we're ready, to step down from patrol, from your full duty status, and go ahead and take on this light duty status. So with mine, I essentially help out with the admin office. You have to have a healthy balance at work and a healthy balance at home. And together, you can achieve it all. Some days are not going to be good. It's just life. You're always going to go through your ups and downs, of course. But you can definitely have a family as an officer. Our department's very good. We received what's known as a parental leave. So we have a 12-week paid leave So you get that time paid off, and it really just helps, you physically, but also that emotional connection that you have with your child. It's not just for moms, it's for dads too. This place is all about family and community. They've been very supportive, so I couldn't be any more grateful than I am.
All right, bring it to the table for any discussion.
Sweet.
That was fantastic, and thank you very much to Officer Salazar and everybody who was involved in that. We talked a lot in the last couple of weeks about the difficulties in recruitment for public safety workers specifically, and this is very quick action on the part of staff to be able to address this. So I appreciate that, and appreciate everybody's work that went into this, and all the work that our brave men and women of the police department do. With that, the motion is to receive and file and watch the video. So, Adrian, would you call the roll, please?
Farber.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Sprank.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Roussel.
Aye.
Wethel.
Aye.
Resnick.
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
Next are council member reports.
Do we have any council member reports?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Jones.
looking at the list of nominees for the Women's Leadership Network for the Women of Achievement Awards, and two of them are sitting at this table, and I think that's significant. One is Councilmember Susan Farber, and one is City Attorney Crenna Brumwell. And a couple other city staffers in here. I see Robin Kennecker, one of our commissioners. It's an outstanding list of outstanding people, and wish you all luck, and I'm so proud to know you.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Jones. I see some embarrassed smiles at the table, but
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to give a shout out to the fourth grade classes at St. Comkills that are under the tutelage of Ms. Feltus and Ms. Funky. And Laura and I had the privilege and honor to meet with the class and answer their nothing but fun questions about what it was like to be an elected official. And I think we both left there with big smiles. We started with big smiles, came out with even bigger smiles at the end of the hour. And it was just extraordinary, and they were so well organized in their mind about questions about what we do on the council here and what it's like to be at this table and to adjudicate everything that we do. And I would not be surprised if one of these sessions we have some fourth graders from St. Comkills joining us.
wonderful.
It was a
Thank
lot
you.
of fun.
Yeah, I bet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farber. Well, I had the opportunity last week to volunteer with the Meals on Wheels program here in Dubuque. And I want to thank Mr. Cruz from the Telegraph Herald and Telegraph Herald staff for chasing me around to be able to do that. I think it was all for a very good cause. It was to be able to promote the program and talk about the needs that exist in our community. It isn't just about food insecurity. It's also a program that's about just checking in on each other, checking in on our neighbors and people who aren't able to leave home as easily as others. And met some great people, had some great experiences and great conversations, and I'd encourage anybody to do that as well when you get the chance. One final thing that I think needs to be pointed out here at the desk, because it was a conversation we had before the meeting started. If you look around up here, we have more women sitting up here than we do men, and we're pretty sure it's the first time that's ever happened. Does anybody have a recollection that's any different? That's incredible. It's great.
Would you tell Corey to stop poking me?
It's wonderful. So I'm very excited to be sitting up here with everybody who's sitting here, and this is a wonderful time. So thank you very much for that. I see we do have a closed session, so I'll entertain a motion for that, please.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Jones.
I move that the council go into closed session in accordance with Chapter 21.5 of the Code of Iowa to discuss potential real estate sale or purchase.
Second.
We have a motion by Jones. Was that you, Ms. Roussel? I'm sorry, I didn't catch who that was. Okay, thank you very much. Motion by Jones, second by Roussel. For the record, the attorney the city council will consult on the issues to be discussed in closed session is City Attorney Crenna Brumwell. Adrian, would you call the roll, please?
Farber.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Sprank.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Roussel. Aye. Wethel.
Aye.
Resnick.
Aye.
The 7-0, we are in closed session.